What's up everybody, Matthew Monas here, and right here in front of us we have the most powerful gaming console in the world, the Xbox One X. Now I'm going to review it and tell you whether or not it's worth it and compare it to PC gaming, which is how I mostly play my games. First things first, the specs. The Xbox One X from a hardware perspective is fantastic. For $500, you're essentially getting a gaming console that can play games comfortably at 4K, 60 frames per second, and take advantage of HDR10, assuming your TV supports it. It's pretty impressive for $500. A comparable PC setup would cost a lot more money, and you'd need at least a powerful GPU like a GTX 1080 to play most titles at 4K. The GPU inside the Xbox One X is powered by AMD, and it's comparable to an RX 580 or GTX 1060. But because the hardware and software is tightly integrated, the operating system is a lot more optimized compared to a standard PC. Now, compared to the PS4 Pro, which is only capable of 4.2 teraflops, the Xbox can push out 6. That additional horsepower means the One X can run more games in full native 4K than Sony's offering. So along the front, there's a 4K Blu-ray drive, a physical power button, a single USB port, and a control pairing button. The back has your power connector, an HDMI out, an HDMI in, 2 more USB ports, connection for optical audio, your infrared out, and an Ethernet port. The controller hasn't changed much since the Xbox One S. It's still really nice, and I just wish Microsoft went with rechargeable batteries instead of having to buy and use AA's. So like I said before, I haven't used an Xbox since the Xbox 360, so I can't tell you how the interface compares to the last few models, but what I can say is the experience is great. Moving around the menus is zippy, games auto-download and auto-update when you're not using the Xbox, and most importantly, it has a really great entertainment section that gives you access to Netflix, movies to rent, and useful applications. Now here's one thing that I really like about Microsoft, is that any game you buy from the Windows Store is playable on both the PC and Xbox. So most importantly, how's gaming at 4K? Well, it depends. There's not a lot of titles at the moment that support 4K, but the ones that are available, Microsoft is calling them Xbox One X Enhanced. Enhanced has a couple of meanings. For one, it might just mean the developer included a higher resolution, faster frame rates, and/or improved textures. You have to look for the 4K Ultra HD icon on the box if you want true native 4K. So the first game I tried was Gears of War 4 since it ran natively at 4K. However, the frame rate is capped at 30 frames per second. Gears of War 4 looked really good at 4K, especially if your TV can take advantage of HDR. Now the only problem is the 30 frames per second. Most people will be okay with it, but since I'm a PC gamer, I like my frame rates to be 60 or above. The good thing is you can set the game in performance mode, which renders at 1080p, but instead of 30 frames per second, you get 60. I actually preferred this as the gameplay was much smoother and similar to the PC experience. The next game I tried was Shadows of Mordor, but first I played it at 1080p to see if I can notice the difference jumping to 4K. In short, there is a difference, but it's not huge. You really need to get closer to the TV to see the benefits. However, if your TV and the game supports HDR, that's when you really notice the improvements in dynamic range. The new Forza was a lot of fun too. I demoed it at the Microsoft event and played it here in the studio for my review. The graphics are amazing, and I got to play it with a sound system that supports Dolby Atmos. Now here's the thing, most of the time you don't really notice a sound difference, but once you enter tunnels, that's when you can tell Dolby Atmos is doing its thing. It sounded absolutely amazing and felt lifelike. If your audio receiver supports it, you'll love it. I suggest buying headphones with Dolby Atmos support. You'll have to pay Microsoft $15 to unlock the feature, but it's totally worth it. So for PC gamers like myself, is this worth the switch from your powerful systems and RGB lighting? In short, no. PC gaming will always have the better frame rates and, depending on your budget, a better experience. For me, it's always been the inputs. I personally prefer the accuracy of a keyboard and mouse over a gaming controller, but it doesn't mean PC gaming is for everyone. There is something really to be said about sitting on a couch playing all the latest games at 4K without having to spend more than $500 on hardware. The Xbox One X is truly the most powerful console on the market, and it's the closest it's ever been to providing the same graphical experience as a high-end PC. So here's the bottom line. If you have an Xbox One or earlier, this is an amazing upgrade. If you're new to gaming consoles, the PS4 Pro is a great choice too, and you should choose the platform that has the exclusive titles that interest you the most. Finally, if your budget permits it, build a PC instead. It truly provides the best gaming experience, at least in my opinion. The bottom line is this: the Xbox One X is a fantastic piece of machinery and will provide you with 4K goodness for years to come. So that pretty much wraps up my review of the Xbox One X. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and also let me know, are you on Team PlayStation or Team Xbox? Thank you so much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next video.